JCPS has made their pick. Board Chair Dr. Corey Shull confirming they are negotiating a contract with Dr. Brian Yearwood to be the next superintendent. And thanks for joining us on the night team. I'm Connie Leonard. Yearwood is the former superintendent at a much smaller school district in Columbia, Missouri. You saw him first right here on WHAS11 earlier this week.
Every child should demonstrate at least a year's worth of growth, minimally, in a year's time.
In a statement, Shull said the board was impressed with Yearwood's commitment to students. Shull also said the board was impressed with Yearwood's leadership in Columbia. The school system saw a 16-point increase in their annual performance report under Yearwood. Shull said the Yearwood has a number of financial accomplishments during his career in education, including being recognized for financial transparency and budgeting excellence while at Columbia. Shull goes on to say Dr. Yearwood's accomplishments highlight his ability to effectively manage financial resources, secure funding for critical projects, and foster partnerships that enhance educational environments. We look forward to welcoming Dr. Yearwood to Louisville and working together to continue advancing our commitment to academic excellence and student success. Well, all day, reactions have been pouring in to the news of the Yearwood pick, including from the man he will replace. Superintendent Marty Polio served nearly 30 years in JCPS. The night team's Clarice Shaley and photojournalist Aspen Hester show us how the JCPS teacher and administrator is remembering his tenure.
With this, Dr. Marty Polio, Superintendent of Jefferson County Public Schools.
Finishing where he started.
Where I was principal, and so that will be very emotional.
Dr. Marty Polio attends Jeffersontown High School's 2025 graduation. The superintendent for 8 years is stepping into a new role as president of Ivy Tech Community Colleges, ending his 28-year career with JCPS. But couldn't leave before saying goodbye.
Any last day is fun, because kids are finishing up a year, but when you get to my last day too, it's extra special.
While Dr. Marty Polio was adamant he has not been following the process of his replacement, he did provide some words of wisdom for the school district after he leaves.
If you're going to be great in public education, it's not a job, it is a calling. And when you see these little kids leaving and crying because they're going to miss their teacher, that's why you do it.
Dr. Polio sends students off as they start their summer, while the school board welcomes his replacement, Brian Yearwood, over the finalist Ben Schuldner. Board President Dr. Corey Shull said in a statement, quote, "Yearwood's experience and vision brings fresh energy to our district, and we look forward to collaborating closely to build on our strengths, address challenges, and ensure that every student has an opportunity to thrive." Negotiations in his contract continue.
I like them both.
Just do the right thing for the children. That's it.
Parents weighed into the conversation.
I have the member communications to support that the membership is very disappointed.
A Jefferson County Teachers Association survey showed Schuldner took over half the votes.
Just because he was kind of talking a little bit better than the other one.
Here, a parent who likes Schuldner better.
I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that JCPS has the best learning and working conditions, because that's what our kids deserve.
A new superintendent with much to prove and even more work to do. For the WHAS 11 night team, I'm Clarice Shaley on your side.
And here's what we know about Brian Yearwood. He began his career as a middle school science teacher and tennis coach at the Manor Independent School District in Texas. He worked in administration as an assistant principal and principal at the elementary and middle school levels. Recently, he worked in Columbia, Missouri as superintendent. There, the school system reached milestones, including a 16-point increase in its annual performance report. Last February, the district voted to extend his contract, but 9 months later, it was announced he was retiring. He signed a non-disclosure agreement with the district and was paid $667,000 in severance. Yearwood will be the first person of color to lead the school district full-time, something Louisville Urban League CEO Lyndon Pryor sees value in.
I think it's huge. Representation matters, and particularly in this climate today, it matters. And so it is going to be a great thing for the 50+% of JCPS students who are black and the many more who are of color to be able to see somebody who looks like them in the highest position in the district.
Yearwood wasn't a unanimous choice by the school board. 2 board members voted against beginning contract negotiations, and that includes Linda Duncan. Duncan told WHAS11 tonight she could not dismiss all the feedback the board was given from teachers, principals, and community members that overwhelmingly supported Ben Schuldiner, saying in part, "When no one could give me one way Dr. Yearwood was better prepared to lead the district than Schuldiner, I had no reason to vote for Dr. Yearwood." Now to the news that broke this morning before the board could announce it, thanks to a social media post from Republican Representative Jason Nemes. Nemes writing, quote, "We have a new superintendent in JCPS. I have already reached out to Superintendent Yearwood and offered friendship and support." Nemes made his post well before the board had confirmed anything, leading to some controversy. Nemes claimed he was unaware the choice hadn't been made public. Dr. Marty Polio reacting to that post this afternoon.
And so I'm a little bit disappointed that it came out prior to the board being able to go through a negotiation process and probably let both candidates know, but that's what it is.
Yearwood and JCPS are still in contract negotiations. Once both sides come to an agreement, then the board will call a special meeting to vote to approve the contract. In other news tonight, with the first trial in the Crystal Rogers case now just days away, WHAS11 and other Louisville media are asking the judge to allow a camera in the courtroom. Earlier this month, Judge Charles Sims ruled no cameras or recording devices would be allowed in the Warren County courtroom for Steve Lawson's trial. The judge said the attention around the case created a, quote, circus-like atmosphere. In an emergency motion filed today, an attorney representing WHAS, WAVE, WDRB, WLKY, and the Courier-Journal argued the media has a right to assert the public's right to access court proceedings. The group is requesting one camera be allowed. Judge Sims has not made a ruling on the request. Jury selection in Steve Lawson's trial starts next Tuesday. And you can follow along with the latest from the trial. Shay McAllister, Isaiah Kim Martinez, and Doug Profit will have daily breakdowns of what happened in court to keep you informed. We'll also have insight from former prosecutor and current attorney Nick Mudd on how the trial is unfolding. You can watch it starting next Tuesday on WHS 11 Plus at 9:30. Well, a man is in custody tonight after police say shots were fired on 64 eastbound this morning. Louisville Metro Police said they responded to the area of I-64 East and Hurstbourne Parkway just before 8 in the morning. Police arrested 23-year-old Abdul Malik Ali. According to court documents, Ali struck the car in the back and continued to swerve on the interstate. As the man was recording Ali driving away, he heard 4 shots and felt the impact on his car. Luckily, no one was hurt. A little later, officers found Ali's car abandoned on Bluegrass Parkway and further down the road found Ali on foot. He's facing charges of first-degree wanton endangerment, first-degree criminal mischief, second-degree assault, possession of a handgun by a prohibited person, and tampering with evidence. Casey Knoll, the daughter of Misty and Jamie Knoll, was released from jail on Thursday, according to Harrison County Sheriff Nick Smith. Casey pleaded guilty to using a credit card from her father's nonprofit company, New Chapel EMS, for over $100,000 in personal purchases on things like jewelry, makeup, travel, alcohol, food, electronics, and accessories. She was sentenced to 9 months behind bars in January, but level 6 felonies are a 50% crime in Indiana, so she only had to serve 4.5 months. She will now begin 51 months of probation. New tonight, the man who was arrested following a viral video showing him shoplifting in Walgreens has been arrested again, this time for escape. LMPD says this viral video posted a month ago shows Tyler Haney pulling items off the shelves and loading up a duffel bag at Walgreens on Fakenbush Lane. Haney was arrested a few days later and is facing multiple charges for the theft. However, police say on May 15th, Haney was released to home incarceration to await trial. 5 days later, he cut off his ankle monitor and was on the run again. Police were able to catch up with Haney and re-arrest him yesterday. Haney is now facing an escape charge. Well, a packed room of neighbors shared their hopes and their fears for Mid-City Mall in the Highlands early this morning. The neighborhood anchor went up for sale in November. Highlands Councilman Ben Reno Weber says it starts at $11 million with nowhere to go but up in price and in height.
having talked to a number of developers about this, in order to make the math work on this space, it's very likely to go up.
The co-owner of the Value Market shared that the lease is not up until the end of the year and that he's working on signing another one for next year. But after that, it would be up to the developer who buys the whole place. The next meeting will be at the same spot, the Highland Shelby Park Library, on June 17th at 6 p.m. It's a debate over honoring Louisville's namesake or honoring police protests. The question over what to do with downtown's King Louis XVI statue has led the city's public art chair to resign. Protesters spray painted it during the Breonna Taylor protests in 2020. The former chair wants that paint to stay while Metro Council is planning to clean it up.
But there's overwhelming support to put it back in its location or somewhere near there where it's publicly available.
And so I've often heard, well, why this one? And the answer is that this statue is broken beyond repair. I mean, it is, full stop. It cannot go outside anymore.
The former art chair says the money should go toward other art restoration in the city. The next chair will be appointed by the mayor. New tonight, the White House has approved individual assistance for the tornadoes that ripped through Kentucky counties last week. The major disaster declaration is for 6 Kentucky counties, including Laurel, Pulaski, and Russell, where an EF4 tornado killed 19 people. Neighbors in Sunshine Hills, one of the hardest hit neighborhoods, say the federal money will help, but they are already thankful for the help they're getting from local people.
We've had nonstop help from local volunteers and groups. It's incredible.
Company Praxel linemen, they've been here every single day working off the clock, and I don't know what we would have done without them.
Governor Beshear reminded people the process to get approved for this money does take time and that he is hoping to add more counties to the request as damage assessments are completed.